Sage speaks on his latest project. Sage is arguably Nigeria's foremost spoken word poet. Sage was at HipTv studios recently to talk about his latest project, his book.
This current book I just have is titled Dream Maker, and it's a fable. But like I tell people, yeah, poetry always leads you to philosophy somewhat. A real poet is always, always graduates from poetry to philosophy. And Dream Maker is my attempt at, teaching philosophy, at being philosophical. Is my attempt at being a philosopher. So it's a story, but it's also fiction. So it's a fable about this old teacher who lives in this wonderful, mystical, strange land, that was supposed to have been built by King Solomon thousands of years before Jesus was born. It's a place that was created for people to come and to think, to teach, to further the world. So in this book, an old man called Baba spends his time trying to pass across his wisdom to a young ward that's named Da. And that's what it's all about.
When he was asked if spoken word poetry is profitable in Nigeria, he had this to say and more.
Okay, yeah, when I started to be a spoken word poet, I wasn't certain Nigerians were going to accept it. But there was a tumultuous response, a thunderous welcome for spoken word poetry when I began it. And there's one thing I realized: the key to every kind of success is to be true to yourself. So writing this book is me being true to myself, and people will always accept the truth eventually, especially when it comes to a time when they need to, be part of the truth. So I'm hoping that someday they'll pick up the book and say, okay, what did this boy write? And they'll read it and say, okay, he did have something. So that's my hope. I am banking on hope that someday this will become acceptable.